Aloha friends, I'm just chilling out on my paddleboard, kind of hanging out watching for some humpback whales. As you know, it's whale season here in Maui, and it's like a nice little nursery for the whales to come and have their babies and mate. It's nice and shallow, safe, no predators. But while I'm sitting here and just enjoying nature, I thought I'd come and talk to you about macros and if it fits your macros or not. I'm going to start out by saying, you could eat a bunch of soy protein and it could fit your macros. But I think we all agree that that's not healthy, right? Same with like Crisco. That Crisco, the fake butter stuff, or I can't believe it's not butter. You could eat that. It doesn't mean that even though it fits your macros, is it good for you? No, and I do not recommend it. Sorry if it's a bit wavy. There are a whole bunch of things that could fit your macros that I do not recommend. Arsenic might fit your macros. Should you drink it? No. Coffee, black coffee, fits everybody's macros. It's 0 calories, right? But it is going to affect your sleep, and poor sleep is going to affect your blood sugar, and making it very difficult for cravings, losing weight, your moods kind of suffer. Coffee also makes you less insulin sensitive, and especially women, listen up, because as we age and our hormones go down, go into menopause, which is inevitable. We are lucky enough to have enough birthdays to get into menopause, but you become very insulin resistant basically. And so that coffee is just going to make you less insulin sensitive, causing more issues. So I just wanted to talk to you about if it fits your macros. Have you heard people say that? Oh, I don't care, it fits my macros. Oh, you shouldn't eat, watermelon. That's not keto. It fits my macros. Sure, you can have a bite of pretty much anything and it'll fit your macros. Is it necessarily good to do that? I don't think so. And I don't know. I just want people to realize that there's a lot of keto products out there that might sound delicious, but it's going to hold you back from really having success. I post testimonies just about every day on my Instagram stories or on my wall, Twitter, that type of stuff, because my email inbox is filled with testimonies. But most of them are yeah, I tried dirty keto. It worked for a little bit, but then I stalled. This is the real keto. And I don't feel left out. I don't feel like I'm missing out. The people that finally gravitate towards ultra keto or whatever you want to call it, they don't feel like they're missing out. And usually homemade stuff tastes way better than anything from a package. I remember there was this Joseph's, what was that? Yikes. This Joseph's tortillas. Hey Michelle! How's it going? Okay, back to macros. It's kind of cool. I am, a very independent, wild woman who is not afraid of being in the ocean by myself. And I met Michelle, who's another crazy wild woman who's not afraid to, I actually really loved her right away. I met her, she had a white face of sunscreen. She's I don't care, you can judge me if you want to. She's awesome, but she likes to paddleboard up by the whales too, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere and there goes Michelle. Awesome. Anyway, macros. First of all, if you don't know what your macros should be, I have a free calculator on ketomaria.com. Get them done, because it's going to help you with success a lot. And then back to if it fits your macros, say you could have dairy. Dairy's not great for weight loss, but say that you found it not an issue. Cottage cheese, for example. I'm just taking an example. There are some really great brands of cottage cheese, like Daisy. There's no weird ingredients. But then, if you look at most of the other brands, there's maltodextrin and dextrose and these fillers that seem harmless, but they are harmful. Maltodextrin has a glycemic index of 110. Sugar has a glycemic index of 52. Splenda, for example, has the maltodextrin. Not that I'm recommending Splenda. Taco seasoning is going to have maltodextrin. Even some supplements. I ran out of my magnesium glycinate that I take at bedtime. And yes, even if you're carnivore, supplements are helpful, because we used to get magnesium in our water supply, but the soil no longer has magnesium in it, so the water doesn't have it either. Anyway, he went to go get magnesium for me, and he came back, and I was like, dude, this has maltodextrin in it. I don't want to take those. And he's like, ah. So I returned them and got a better brand. But I just want you to know that ingredients do matter. They really do, even if it's 0 carb or, 1 carb, and you don't think it's a big deal. I don't know, if you want success, and it's not just about weight loss, it's about feeling great, right? There could be something in like the Joseph's tortillas, okay? Back to that. I used to think these were healthy. This is 20 years ago, well before kids. And I would use those because they said only like 2 net carbs on them. But when you look at the ingredients, it's like vital wheat gluten, soy protein, all of these things you don't want. And I never felt great. So just being aware of ingredients is going to be very helpful. Thought there was something near me. You never know what's going to pop out of the ocean. Would you do this? Would you be scared out here? Sometimes Craig will be out here with a drone and there's a few different sharks. Yeah, there's not a lot of predators for the whales, but there's some creepy stuff out here. Anyway, back to macros. I think I might jump inside and see if Craig has anything to say about if it fits my macros, because that's the thing, like, I'm not the keto police, but I do want to help educate, because I do get very frustrated when people are like, I tried keto and it didn't work for me. And I'm like, okay, first of all, ingredients matter. Stuff that says keto, you might want to run away from that stuff. Just eat real food, and also get your macros done, because most people do keto and they tell me what their macros are. I'm like, oh my word, you need to flip those to have success. Their protein is way too low, their fat is way too high. And once they flip them, they're like, oh my gosh, the weight is just flying off, my energy's back, I'm sleeping better. So let's see if Craig has anything to add. Okay, my friends, I came up, talked to Craig, and something came that's perfect to talk about if it fits your macros is, okay, we get Instacart, and a lot of times you get the wrong stuff, and I was like, French vanilla, sugar-free, what? So this says that it's only 1 carbohydrate, 1 gram of fat, 15 calories. This is something people would say, oh, it fits my macros, I'm gonna put that in my coffee. Yeah. Well, first of all, coffee's a whole nother thing that'll fit your macros, but it's gonna cause issues. But let's see the ingredients. Corn syrup, vegetable oil, soybean oil, artificial flavoring, carrageenan, sucralose. I mean,
none of those are good.
None of those are good. So the whole thing is bad for you. It could fit your macros, but don't buy it.
And here's the thing too. We just had a live with Dan, and these type of ingredients are what cause inflammation. Yeah. And so I'll try to put a link here to Dan's interview all about how changing his food changed his inflammation and pain.
He didn't have a lot of weight to lose.
No.
But his investment was in his chronic pain, and he did everything from stem cells. He had 5 surgeries.
Yeah, like 15 pieces of metal in his hip, knee, and ankle.
And he would go walk with his wife, and just
pain.
She could just see his pain. And now nothing, just by changing his food. And he even said himself, eating stuff from a package, whether it says keto or not, is bad. It caused him to have a lot of pain.
Most things labeled keto are bad. They're just processed junk in a different label.
But we're not trying to be the keto police, but we see this. We have a lot of private Facebook groups that we try to help educate people, and I don't want you to see us as the keto police. But when people aren't successful, or like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. I tried that, I still had chronic pain. I tried that, I didn't lose any weight. Whatever it was, maybe it was the way you went around it. And maybe you just need a little bit more guidance, whether you want to join our free Facebook group or whatever. But that's why we're putting these educational videos out there. What's something that people say, like, oh, it fits my macro, like carrots and stuff? People are like that with everything.
Well, mostly it's these kind of processed food things, and one of the things that's the worst is things that are definitely marketed to keto, and those are things like Chalk Zero, which have soluble corn fiber, or now I think soluble tapioca fiber or something, which spikes blood sugar as much as sugar, but blood glucose as much as sugar, but they can subtract it from the carb total and do net carbs. And so because it's technically labeled as a fiber, even though it spikes your blood sugar.
But even things that we used to love, like Swerve, sorry for calling it out, Swerve.
Added tapioca starch, I think, to it.
So it still had like
Ingredients
the same
matter.
macros, but the ingredients made us be like, sorry, we don't recommend it anymore. So just be a label reader, and if you don't want to become a label reader, just ask us. Join the Facebook groups and say, is this okay? And just be aware that some people are going to be more police-like than us, but they're just trying to help you have success, and that's the whole purpose of this. So anyway, eat real food and eat really good food, right? Too, right?
Yeah.
All right, mahalo, everybody. When I was 16 years old, I was diagnosed with PCOS, acid reflux, depression, and IBS. Instead of taking those prescription drugs, I decided to change my life with food. Yes, food healed me, and it's healed so many of my clients over the past 20 years of working with people. If you are interested in transforming your life, check out KetoMaria.com. I'd be honored to help you.